Hello students, welcome to the ninth session of Business Statistics Part 2. In the present session, we'll be discussing about correlation of grouped data, and we can also call this as table correlation. So this table correlation is one of the important concept that you have to study with respect to your examination point. Before going to the concept of calculation of group data or table correlation, you should remember that this correlation of grouped data refers to uh, those problems which is in the continuous series. So those problems which have the frequency value, all those problems has to be calculated in the grouped data format or table correlation format. The correlation of grouped data refers to the calculation of Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation of a continuous frequency distribution. This table will be in the form of bivariate frequency distribution table. In this table of correlation method, the coefficient is determined by a different formula, that is similar to the previous assumed mean formula, but we will be including frequencies in each of the concept that we have used in the formula. Okay, and here f in this formula refers to the total number of frequencies, and n refers to the total number of observations, that is the total value of the frequency, and dx and dy, like in the previous problem, they are the deviations from the x and y values from their respective assumed means. So now let us look into the steps of this calculation of grouped data, and then we can go to the calculation part. The midpoints of the class intervals are treated as the value of x and y. As I said in the previous session, as it is the continuous series, we have to consider the midpoint for the consideration of values of x and y. Then we have to take the step deviation of x and y and denote it as dx and dy. Multiply the dx and dy and frequency of the particular cell and record the values in the upper right corner of the concerned cell. So this we will arrive at the f dx dy. I'll explain these in the problem part. The total concerned values of each cell both vertically and horizontally, and find f dx dy and obtain sigma f dx dy. So in the problem I have put these cornered values in the form of brackets. We can discuss it later. Multiply dx value with the frequencies of cells and obtain f dx and sigma f dx. That is, multiplying f into dx will give us f dx, and the sum of f dx will be sigma f dx. In the same way, we have to obtain f dy, and in the next column we should square the f dx values, and here we should remember that we will be squaring only the dx values and not the frequencies. So f dx square refers to f into dx into dx, or we can calculate this way, this in other way, that is f into dx square. Dx square we have already calculated, so we can multiply frequency into dx square, and we should not square the whole f dx square to obtain f dx square. So the same step has to be applied into y values to obtain f dy square and sigma f dy square. Then you have to substitute all these values to the given formula to find out the value of correlation. Now let us apply all these steps by using a particular illustration. The following table relates to the couples who are classified according to their age at the time of their marriage. You are required to calculate the Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation between the age of the husband and age of the wife at the time of their marriage, and you have to analyze the result. So this is the table which is given in the form problem. See, you can see a bivariate table in this problem. You are given the age of the wives and age of husband in a continuous series, and the values in the center of the tables are the frequencies here. Now, let us move on to the solution. Let age of wife be assumed as x and age of husband as y, and the assumed mean of x be 27.5 for x and the same for y variable. The values in the brackets in each cell refers to f dx dy. That is, I'll explain in the table part. That is, dx is equal to mid value minus assumed mean, that is x minus x bar, or class interval, divided by class interval. So this is the table for the calculation of correlation. In the first column we are given the age, that is in the continuous series, and in the next column the value of x refers to the mid values of the ages, that is 17.5, 22.5, 27.5, 32.5 and 37.5. These are the x values. In the same way, the y values are also given, and we have found out the mid values of the series. Okay, so now the next step that we have to do is to calculate dx and dy. Before entering the dx and dy values, we should concentrate on the highlighted table here. You can see bold line in between. So all those are the frequencies values of this particular problem. 20, 10, 3, 2, all these are the frequency values, and the values in the brackets are the values of f dx dy. I'll tell you about the calculation in the next part. Okay, now let us concentrate on dx and dy. To calculate the value of dx and dy, we should see that we should subtract the assumed mean from the x values, that is x minus x bar. So we have assumed 27.5 as the assumed mean of x. So the calculation here will be 17.5 minus 27.5 divided by the class interval gap. That is, the class interval gap here is 5, that is 15 to 20, that is 20 minus 15. So the class interval gap, that is 5 here. So 17.5 minus 27.5 divided by 5. Okay, so that will give us minus 2. In the same way, we have to calculate the other values of x also, that is 22.5 minus 27.5, that is 5, right, minus 5. Minus 5 divided by the class interval gap is again 5, right. So minus 5 divided by 5, that will give us minus 1. So the values has to be calculated in this way. So we will obtain dx and dy by following this particular step. Okay, so now I have already said the blocked table in between this table, they are the frequency values here, 20, 10, 3, 2, 4, all these are the frequency values. So to calculate total frequency, that is f in the row and the column, has to be calculated by totaling the values vertically and horizontally. That is, vertically total value of frequency will be 20 plus 10 plus 3 plus 2, that will give us 35, right. So horizontally we have to total the frequency values, and we will obtain the frequencies of x here. And vertically if we total, that is 20 plus 4, that is 24. 10 plus 28 plus 5, this will give us 43. So in this way, if we total it vertically, we will end up at frequencies of y. So when we total these frequencies horizontally or vertically, we will end up at the same value, and in this problem the value is 100 here. So this total is called as the value of n. That is, the total frequencies horizontally obtained and the total frequencies vertically obtained will always be the same in this correlation table, and that is 100 here. That we can denote it as n value. Okay, so now we have obtained the total frequencies and the value of n. The next step is to calculate the value of f dx. So we have obtained dx value here, that is minus 2, right? So dx into frequency, that is total frequency, will give us f dx. So minus 2 into 35 will give us f dx of the same row, that is minus 70. In the same way, minus 1 into 42 minus 42. So the same calculation has to be done for each horizontal row, and we will obtain sigma f dx, that is minus 100. Now the next step that we have to follow in the next column, that is f dx square. Squaring the dx values and not the frequency here, we should remember that. So f dx is minus 70, right? So frequency is 35. 35 into f dx, that is minus 70, into minus 70 will be minus 70 into minus 70 into the deviation of x will give us the f dx square, that is squaring the dx only and keeping the frequencies as it is. So f dx, that is minus 70 into minus 2, that will give us 140. You can do this calculation in an alternate way, that is f, that is 35 into dx, that is minus 2, into dx, that is again minus 2. 35 into minus 2 into minus 2, that will also be 140. Or simply you can calculate this as minus 70 into minus 2. Okay, so that will be 140. So in the same way, we should total all the values of f dx square and we will obtain 204 here, that is sigma f dx square. Now in the same way, we have to calculate f dy and f dy square here, that is f dy refers to f into dy, that is 24 into minus 1, and 43 into 0, that is 0. So in the same way, we should calculate f dy values and we should obtain sigma f dy, and in the next row f dy square, that is f dy, that is minus 24 into dy, minus 24 into minus 1, that is 24 here. When we calculate all the column in the same calculation, we will obtain sigma f dy square. Now almost all the calculations are completed and we should calculate sigma f dx dy. So to calculate this, we should use the corner values. So here I have put the cornered values in the bracket value. Okay, now let us discuss how to calculate this f dx dy. This f dx dy first has to be calculated for each cell of the bold table. Okay, so f into dx into dy will give us f dx dy, right? So now concentrate on the first cell of the bold table, that is 20. The frequency of the first cell is 20. So that is f, right? So 20 into dx of the corresponding row, that is minus 2. So f into dx, that is 20 into minus 2, that is 1 value, into minus 1. So 20 into minus 2 into minus 1 will give us f into dx into dy. So 20 into minus 2, that is minus 40, minus 40 into minus 1, that is 40 here. Okay, so that is the value of corner value. Okay, so for each cell this has to be computed, that is f into dx into dy. Let us consider another column value, that is 10, to calculate in the same way. That is frequency here is 10, that is f is equal to 10 here, f into dx value of the same row, that is minus 2. So 10 into minus 2 is minus 20. And the dy value of the same column, that is 0. So 10 into minus 2, that is 20 here, minus 20 here, minus 20 into 0 is 0. So in this way, all the cells values has to be considered, and we should calculate f into dx into dy of each cell. Okay, so once we calculate the f into dx into dy of each cell, it has to be put in a bracket of each cell beside the values of frequencies. Now we can arrive at f dx dy of each row. That is, in each row we should total the values of the dx, and we will obtain f dx dy of the x values. And in each column, if we total the values of f dx dy, we will obtain the values for y values. That is 40 plus 0 minus 6 minus 8. So this is the horizontal consideration. We will obtain 26 minus 10, 0, 2. These are the values of y values. And the total sigma f dx dy will be 38. And when we consider the same calculation in the vertical column, that is 44, 0, minus 10 and 4 here. So if we total the f dx dy in the horizontal manner or the vertical value, the total value of f dx dy will always be the same for x value and also the y value. So here the f dx dy of both x and y is 38 here. So this will complete the total calculation of this table, and we have to substitute all these values into the formula. So when we substitute all these values into the formula, n into f dx into dy minus sigma f dx into f dy divided by root of n into f dx square minus sigma f dx whole square into root of n into sigma f dy square minus sigma f dy whole square. Okay, so we should substitute the values into this formula, and we will obtain r is equal to 0.61, that is correlation coefficient of 0.61. Now the analysis and interpretation method is same for assumed mean problem or the grouped data problem. That is, as the correlation coefficient is 0.61, we can say that there is a moderate relationship, right? So that is in between 0.5 to 0.75. So the analysis part is as follows. The correlation coefficient of x and y is 0.61. So we can say that there is a moderate positive relationship between the age of husband and age of wives at the time of their marriage. So this will be the analysis. Thank you.